Hey guys, and welcome back to another session of Daniel's Security Academy. Today we are going to talk about security news again, just as we did in October, and I would like to keep this series running for the next month. So one of the videos per month I'm gonna try to do like the security news update, where I give you some of the actual current news we have around the security field, the network field, maybe out to crypto. I'll try to mix it up a little bit, but this month it's actually the ransomware month. So I have 4 news which I'm gonna present to you, which are dedicated around the ransomware because it's being the most dominant topic in the past weeks and months, as it's being such a critical part right now in the IT security sphere. So let's get started with the first news. The first news is the Continental Lockbit Hack, where 40 terabyte of data has been stolen by the Lockbit group. We have seen and talked about the Lockbit group before. It's being one of the most active groups and very, very successful groups right now. And they stole the data, and Continental did not pay the ransom money, which was asked to them. So the hack already happened in August 2022, but the Lockbit group now just started to offer the files, the 40 terabytes, for around $50 million on their darknet website. So if you just have $50 million in spare and you want to hear some internals about Continental, go ahead and purchase this data set. Of course, I'm joking. Don't buy this. Even if you have the money, don't feed those groups, because it's actually part of the issue. People paying them money, because they actually just do this for the money purpose. If no one pays them, they don't have a base to work on. So they also added some screenshots to the darknet website, showing like several files, scripts, and reports of materials, some technical drawings, which is supposed to give the data more authenticity, I guess, and just attract more buyer apparently for this kind of data. But it is not confirmed if those data and those data sets are actually already like outdated and may offer no actual value to competitors. So if you are a competitor of Continental and thinking about, okay, 50 million to get technical details and insights into Continental, my biggest rival, this might pay out to me. Yeah, you don't know what's in the 40 terabyte. At first it sounds big, 40 terabyte, but in the end Continental is a giant company, and there could be so much trash in 40 terabyte no one knows if it's actually valuable. I really hope there's just 40 terabyte of trash in there. One thing actually one of the screenshots shows is a Python script which is being used for a VPN connection, which also included clear text username and password. So I really hope Continental already changed this username and password for the VPN connection, because now pretty much everyone knows the combination of those two, as it's publicly available now. As for all of the news, I would just link those down in the video description. Today, actually in the news, I've used a German IT forum news website as a source. So if you're not German, I'm sorry, you might need to use Google Translate to actually translate the news article into English. But for all my German listeners, it's easier for you, and you probably also know the website already without looking at the link. The second news is a Russian-Canadian citizen is being arrested, or was arrested, in Canada for his Lockbit actions. So just the next news, which perfectly fits to the first news, to the previous news, is that the hacker, which is associated with the Lockbit group, it's just one of many apparently, He's a 33-year-old Russian Canadian citizen, and he was arrested in Canada and is being waiting to be transferred to the US for prosecution. And the US governments and agencies were actually doing a 2.5-year hunt, surveillance, search action on him. I actually do not know how to classify those kind of actions. But yeah, they were searching for him for 2.5 years already. And he's probably now awaiting 5 years of jail time for his activities within the Lockbit group. And the group just had so many victims, or it still has so many victims in the US. It is guessed to be around $100 million as ransom money being asked already by the group to all of the victims. So the victims are usually not paying in the US. I'm going to talk about this detail in the fourth news I'm going to present to you. But still, they will make a decent amount of money, even though if they haven't received all the 100 million they have asked for. But if they still receive just 2 or 3%, it's still $2 or $3 million in 3 years. This is pretty much good payout for 3 years. It's a good yearly salary. Moving over to the third news, we stay in the ransomware sphere. This time it's not Lockbit actually, but a German district administration in the west of Germany has been hacked, and it was affected pretty much by a ransomware group, and which is called the Ransomware Wise Society. And they pretty much found personal data about various people, people which are of some kind of interest for the state for sure, but also data like names, addresses, and birth dates of Ukrainian refugees within the city administration and the city council areas. So whoever stole this kind of data was actually maybe looking for specifically those kind of data because maybe they have some kind of right-wing attachments to the group, or they want to sell those kind of information to a right-wing group which try to hunt those kind of refugees, as we have seen this a few times already in Germany, which is too bad that refugees are being prosecuted by self-named right-wing groups which try to play some kind of police. Anyway, the data uploaded, or the data was uploaded actually because the city district did not pay the ransom in time, and they also did not plan to pay the ransom at all. And they pretty much work with the State Office of Criminal Investigation of the state to get as much data and insight about the hacker group, how they got into the systems, what they can do to improve the security posture, and maybe also prosecute actually the hacker group, which is called, as I said, Ransomware Wise Society. And those are pretty much, this is a professional group and a professional and organized group with the primary target to make money with this kind of ransomware attacks. So yeah, pretty much cyber criminals. Not too different from Lockbit. Definitely a smaller size, as Lockbit is probably the biggest right now, but maybe they try to be as big as them. The fourth news, also a little bit focused on Germany. I'm sorry about the German and ransomware focus in this episode on the security news. But there was an IDC report or survey done with around 206 security specialists in various companies of pretty much all verticals you can find in the business and enterprise sphere. And they found quite interesting facts about German companies. So 1/3 of the specialists said that they were actively hacked in the current or in the past years. And 80% of those being hacked, or those have been hacked, actually paid the ransom money with almost 50% of the paying part with the reason of it's faster than restoring the backup. So you have actually a big chunk of group, like almost a half of the paying part of the hacked people, we just paid because it was easier. It was the easiest way out. Maybe those companies did not even have a backup. Maybe those backups were never tested, or those backups were actually destroyed and they were just not left with no other choice than paying a ransom. Because 88% of the hacked part of the survey lost their entire backups to the hack. So only 12% of the hacked companies were able to keep and use the backups to restore and keep the environment running. So the ransomware attacks actually got more sophisticated in being able to target also for the backup infrastructure and destroying the backup infrastructure to leave no other choice, as I said, to pay the ransom because there are no backups to be used to restore the actual servers. The funny thing, or maybe it's not really funny, because instead of increasing the security expenses and adding additional security layers to the defense of death approach, companies rather pay and buy cyber insurances by insurance companies. And 42% of the security specialists being asked, they already have a cybersecurity insurance, and additional 37% claimed or said that they will purchase insurance within the next 12 months. So instead of increasing the security posture in the company network, in the company overall, they rather accept the fact that they will be hacked and there will be damages, and they just want to be compensated by an insurance company giving them money back for this kind of hack. And for the insurance companies, it's just very difficult to actually calculate the risk of a company being hacked. I know this as I've created an offer around this sphere for an Italian insurance company where we're asked to do the reports and assessments, because you just don't need to, you just don't get enough insight into the company to actually do a security assessment, pretty much, or a risk assessment of a company. You only have a few hours maybe to do this kind of assessment, and within those kind of hours you cannot determine the actual security capabilities of a company. If they just fill out a questionnaire like, oh, do you have an antivirus solution? Yes, I have. And I just do check marks wherever it might fit. And based on check marks, you are supposed to calculate the risk. That's almost impossible. So this is definitely a drive which is a little bit surprising to me, for sure, but also a pretty bad one, as insurance does not solve your issue. Your issue can be solved to some extent if you just do security right. Just go ahead to one of your consultancy partners, firms, whoever you're going to partner with or already are in-house, and just let them do a security assessment on your posture. And this is definitely better money invested than putting those into insurance companies, which also have a high risk of failing the actual assessment and claiming a higher or lower risk than it's actually are. So yeah, that's pretty much already it for the security news for November 2022. Yeah, please let me know if you kind of like this kind of video of series that I just present some of the security news around the month. And I just try to keep get this going and find in December some new interesting happenings, news, and maybe just focus on another topic, not Germany and ransomware, but maybe some of the other topics, some crypto hacks. We had also some interesting stuff happening about the Silk Road hackers, where almost, I think, more than $1 billion worth of Bitcoin was restored on a search. So a lot of interesting stuff happened during this month, and I'm going to try to present it again in December for what's happening in December. So thank you so much for following till the end. I always appreciate your feedback, your comments. So leave some comments below. Let me know what you think, and I'm gonna see you in the next session. Take care and bye-bye.